Hello and welcome to 2022 Volunteer Orientation with KYCC. My name is Amanda Rodriguez. I'm a VITA site manager at KYCC and I'm also here with Javier.
Hello everybody, my name is Javier Osorio. I'm also a VITA site manager.
So today we are going to do a overview of the VITA program so you can have an idea of what the program looks like and all the responsibilities for a volunteer with the VITA program. Okay, so before we go into more details about the program, I will briefly talk about KYCC. So the mission of KYCC is to serve the evolving needs of the multi-ethnic Koreatown community. We have programs and services directed towards recently immigrated and economically disadvantaged youth and families. And we aim to promote community socioeconomic empowerment. Aside all the programs and services that we have with KYCC, we also have volunteer opportunities. And one of the biggest volunteer programs that we have is VITA. And VITA is housed under the Economic Development CED unit, which we provide comprehensive financial capability programs and services to help residents of Koreatown and the greater Los Angeles manage their finances and increase income, reduce expenses, and also provide a small business technical assistance and build wealth. So how does VITA and financial wellness relate? So VITA is important because we believe that financial wellness starts with tax preparation. And tax preparation allows clients to claim tax credits and also be able to receive other financial assistance in the future. And sometimes this is the biggest check that clients get during the year, the refund checks. VITA is a free tax preparation service, so we do serve low-income families that sometimes they pay too much for their tax preparation and loans. And each year, about $566 million in EITC are left on the table because our clients, they do not file taxes, and maybe because they do not know the different resources available to them. So we do have a lot of earned income tax credit left, and also the child tax credits that are not claimed. And all these credits help reduce childhood poverty to a record low of 5% last year, which previously it was at 20%. So as you can see, by helping our community and our clients claim these credits, we are helping also to reduce poverty. So promoting the earned income tax credit is one of the big reasons why we do VITA. This credit helps low to moderate wage workers receive the benefits of the EITC. And this is the largest anti-poverty program in the nation. And we do have two EITC credits. We have the federal, which is up to $6,135. And we also have the call EITC, which is up to $3,160. So some of the major milestones that we have here at KYCC, in 2006, we began tax preparation services. Later, 2 years in 2008, we received a federal IRS grant for multiple tax sites here in the community. We also were able to bring a free low-income tax clinic for IRS issues in 2014, and in 2016 we launched a county-wide free tax prep LA campaign just to promote the free tax preparation services to the community and also all the credits available to them. In 2020, we actually created a remote VITA service. Due to the pandemic, we were not able to have in-person assistance with the clients, but we found a way to be able to still assist them and just to help them claim credits and do their taxes. And this year, in 2022, we were able to assist more than 15,000 taxpayers and return more than 28 million back to families. So why should you volunteer with KYCC VITA? So we do have some perks. You will receive the support of the staff and also experienced volunteers. We also, at the end of the VITA season, and because we want to recognize all the volunteers, we do have some events and volunteer recognition, just as a thank you for participating in the program and helping us help these families. And also, for those professionals who need pro bono credits, continuing credits, and CRA credits, we also have those available. And we do provide refreshments when you volunteer. And if you decide to also volunteer on Saturdays, we do provide lunch. We have a convenient schedule for our volunteers. We do have afternoon and evening shifts. And this year, all volunteer opportunities will be in person. And it will be really easy to sign up for these volunteering positions. You just have to sign up online. And we will provide the website where you can sign up once the dates become available. And our tax sites have a large capacity for volunteers. We have 8 to 10 computer stations for tax preparation, and we also have 4 to 6 intake specialist positions available as well in the tax site. But you do not have to either do tax preparation or intake. We do have other volunteer opportunities for you as well. I know that being a tax preparer can be a little bit intimidating, especially if you are a new volunteer, but you don't have to worry. We do have other volunteer opportunities for you. You can help us be an appointment scheduler, just helping us call the clients and schedule an appointment for them at the different tax sites that we have. You can be a greeter, just greeting the clients when they come into the tax site. We do have intake, which I will talk a little bit about that in a minute. And we have interpreters. We do need assistance with clients that their primary language is not English, so we do need interpreters at the tax sites. Then we have tax preparation, quality reviewers, that it's also part of the tax preparation process. And lastly, we have social media and videographers. So this last two is to mainly help us do outreach on our social media platforms. So as you can see, we do have other opportunities in which you can help us with VITA. Okay, so for the intake specialist, these are the responsibilities that you will have. You will be in charge of screening the clients for qualifications, verifying their identity, such as the ID, social security cards, and also ITIN letters, and then collecting all the forms, all the tax forms that they bring for tax preparation. If they need any assistance, you will be there to help, and also to maybe also assist them with the intake form. The intake form they do have to complete for every tax return that we will be preparing on site. So these are some of the responsibilities for intake specialists. And then for tax preparation, we do have 2 certifications, which is basic and advanced. And the responsibilities will be the tax preparation for both certifications or either one, depending on your level. And then to get familiar into using TaxLayer. TaxLayer is the software that we use for tax preparation, so it's really important to get familiar with this software. And then client interview, just asking additional questions with the client just to clarify any doubts or any information that they provided, and we can complete an accurate tax return. And then lastly, completing the tax return, which will be reviewing the tax return with the client, just making sure that all information is correct and that they understand their responsibility before signing the tax return, so we can e-file it both in the federal and state level. And you can see here a little bit of what the responsibilities include for basic and advanced tax preparation. So for the basic preparers, you will be in charge of screening and interviewing, knowing about the filing status, the personal income, such the forms that they bring as the W-2, maybe they have unemployment, social security. So these are some of the forms that the clients will bring. Then the standard deductions, the different credits that the client can qualify for, such as the earned income tax credit, the child tax credit, and education credits. And then health coverage, and lastly, doing a quality review and making sure that the tax return is complete. And then for advance, it's a little bit more complicated. I wouldn't say more complicated, but a little bit complex tax returns. So self-employment in Schedule C, which will include the cash income and 1099 and EC forms. We have also retirement, sale of stocks, IRA deductions, itemized deductions, cancellation of debt, and then other miscellaneous credits and deductions. So what can you do to get your certification? So to get your certification, you do need to complete and pass different tests, but regardless of the volunteer position that you have at the VITA site, you do have to complete two very important tests, which is the volunteer standard of conduct and also the intake interview quality review. Each of the tests is 10 questions, and for these ones you will just review the ethics of being a volunteer and also how to ask questions and get information from the client. So these two you will have to complete regardless of your volunteer position. And then if you would like to do some tax preparation, we do have some options. You can either take your basics exam, which is 30 questions. You also have advanced 35 questions, and the circular to 30 for licensed professionals. And we do recommend to at least have the volunteer standard of conduct and intake completed by December, or just to have it before you start volunteering at a tax site. And we do have some available resources for you, which we'll talk a little bit more about that, which we will show you some guides that you will have, some links, and our website. So on this website, volunteertaxprep.com, you will find all the resources that you will need to get your certification level. And Javier will explain a little bit more on where you can find that information.
Thank you, Amanda. Like she mentioned, here's where you're going to find all the resources available. It's going to be including the PDF, the guides, and the tests, Volunteer Hub. This is where you RSVP for Zoom training or as well as volunteering. Here you will find also YouTube, the recording trainings, specifically this training as well, which will be available on January 2023. You'll also find the IRS training guides and tests. This includes volunteer, standard of conduct, intake and interview / quality review, and tax law for basic, advanced, the curricular 230, military, Puerto Rico, and health savings account, as well as tax layer practice lab software. And this is where you can also find where you can submit your tests online. And as you can see, this is how you will be viewing the volunteer tax prep site. Here you can see all of the information for volunteer resources guide, publication 4012, as can be seen in the circle, and all the other resources that I just mentioned. Okay, so the available resources, we have publication 4012, publication 8744. So publication 4012, this is going to be your guide as a volunteer, has a lot of information that we will utilize to prepare taxes, both basic and advanced. And publication 6744 is pretty much includes the test and the retest that you'll be answering in order to get certified. And yes, this is going to be open book for you. And as you can see, back to our volunteer tax prep site, this is where you're going to RSVP for our trainings, as well as so you can volunteer in person for this tax year. And here you can also see the schedules. You're going to see the incoming trainings, as well as you're going to be able to view when you can volunteer and sign up to come on site and volunteer as either intake preparer, or as like Amanda mentioned, we have a lot of different opportunities to volunteer. Here is where you're going to be able to RSVP for that. Okay, next we're going to go into how you can watch training videos specifically for tax. This is going to be located in our YouTube channel, and here at volunteertaxprep.com, you're going to be able to go straight to our training videos. And this is the view on how you're going to be able to see all of our tax videos. Here you're going to find these resources. They're going to be up to date starting January 2023. Okay. And then for our additional resources, in the bottom, you're going to see standard of conduct training and tests, as well as intake and interview training and tests, and basic and advanced certification tests, publication 6744. Here, you're going to use all these resources in order to get certified at whichever level that you wish to, or like Amanda mentioned, you do need to at least do the standard of conduct, intake and interview in order to volunteer at our sites. And like I mentioned, these are the publications that we do need our volunteers to at least go ahead and have. Publication 6744 is for the test, and then publication 4961 is for volunteer standard of conduct. And next, we're going to go into the practice lab. This is similar as to our actual tax software that we use, TaxSlayer. And once you click on the practice lab, it's going to require you to put the password, which is TrainProWeb, all caps. And then also you would have to include the SIDIN number is S700-11258. This is a view of the practice lab. It shows you what you need to input, and you're going to be inputting all the information from the taxpayer. And in this case, you are viewing the information of the spouse. And pretty much this is just a view so that you guys can get a little bit familiar with it. But we do recommend that you use the practice lab to get a little bit more familiar with our tax software. And next, we're going to show you how and where to go to get certified to become a volunteer. As you can see at the bottom corner, says submit certification, test online. Here, it will take you to link learn certification. And this is where you're going to create an account. If you haven't had an account, if you're a previous tax volunteer, then you can use your previous account, or if you forgot your password or username, you can always reset that as well. Here, once you have completed all the questions necessary for you to be certified at whatever certification you want to be at, whether it's basic or advanced, you're going to submit all the questions from publication 6744 in this website. Next, we're going to talk about volunteer certification and protections. So you do have the attempt to take the tests and retests on publication 6744. You're going to complete this test online, like I mentioned, and linklearncertification.com. You have 2 attempts to pass these. Each test at least 80% or higher. And then pretty much we do require you to read and attach a photo identification as well as sign the volunteer standard of conduct agreement in order to be a volunteer at each one of our VITA sites. The Volunteer Protection Acts, you are protected. You can prepare returns and provide advice in the topics that you have been trained and certified in. This means if you've been trained up to basic, you can provide basic advice as well as prepare basic returns and vice versa for advanced preparers. And we never ask or solicitate donations or business. Never willfully prepare a return with mistakes, with omitted or unsubstantiated information. And this is our KYCC tax sites for 2023. We do have our main site in Koreatown, which is located on 6th and Harvard. This is Koreatown Youth and Community Center. We also have Breezy Foundation, also in Koreatown, but located on 2nd and Vermont behind Yvonne's. And on occasions, we do have special tax day events. These are offsites and with strategic partners such as Los Angeles City College, Karsh Family Service Center, and Boys and Girls Club. And all of these information, these sites, in order to volunteer, they'll all be located in the same place where you RSVP to volunteer and also RSVP for the trainings. And this is where you RSVP for trainings or where to volunteer. This is all located in our volunteertaxprep.com website where you can see and find all the resources that you can volunteer. So whenever you get a chance and you want to go ahead and see our schedule, go ahead and check it out at volunteertaxprep.com. Or you can always email us. We'll provide the information. And we do occasionally get frequently asked questions such as how many hours do I need to volunteer? So there is no minimum hours. However, you should plan to volunteer about 12 to 20 hours total to practice and get to be able to master what you actually learn in the training process. And we also get questions such as there are so many resources, where should I start? Most volunteers start with the test, which is the publication 6744, and also the volunteer resource guide, publication 4012. And you can answer like half of the questions just by using your publication 4012, the volunteer resource guide. All of the informations are pretty much located inside that publication. And most volunteers complete the training and test on their own. And it's totally up to you. You can also use webinars and recorded classes that are additional and optional resources available for you. Another question is, when can I volunteer? Do I have to come every day? So volunteer usually starts like late January. The shifts are posted on Volunteer Hub portal on website www.volunteertaxprep.com/serve. And you should remember to also pass your certification, get certified before you actually volunteer at our sites. We do want you to be already certified. Some of the tips that we have on completing the certification is please don't try to memorize it. You're going to have your publication 4012 with you. Remember, your tests are going to be open book, but also your resources are going to be available for you. It's best for you to get accustomed to our tax layer practice lab site. This way you're familiar with how to navigate our actual tax preparation lab. and it's going to be the same thing. So you just have to get accustomed to this practice lab at least, and you'll be okay. And you know the difference also between the qualifications of the earned income credit, child tax credit, credit for other dependents, and the dependency, as well as head of household. And four, use all of the resources that are available for you, such as the Volunteer Resource Guide, Publication 4012, and the YouTube videos provided in the shortcuts in locating information. Fifth, it is also okay to ask us questions. You can always look things up or get back to clients to address a tax question or complete a return. Remember that we will always be here to help you out. If you have any additional questions, we have experienced volunteers, experienced staff to be able to help you out and assist you. And if you have any questions moving forward, you can always go ahead and you can always email us at freetaxes@kyccla.org, or you can call us at area code 213-365-7400 extension 5204. Thank you.